So today I am going to show you from this Catholic edition of the Good News Bible that Jesus is actually the devil or Lucifer, and I'm going to start off at Revelation 22:16. Now this is near the very end of the Bible, like this is the last page of the Bible. But if you go to Revelation 20:16, it says, "I, Jesus, have sent my angel to announce these things to you in the churches. I am descended from the family of David. I am the bright morning star." So Jesus himself here is saying that he is the bright morning star. Now, um, if we go back to the Old Testament in Isaiah, we have a quotation based on the morning star, which will give us a better idea of who this Jesus individual really is. So Isaiah 14:12. So, King of Babylonia, bright morning star. So, bright morning star, that's the person who Jesus refers to himself as. So, right here, we are speaking about Jesus and not anybody else. You have fallen from heaven. So, yeah, he lost his spot in heaven. And I believe if you lose your spot in heaven, um, in this universe, you are considered a prisoner or a criminal. Because Earth itself is a prison planet. So, in the past you have conquered nations, but now you have been thrown to the ground. You were determined to climb up to heaven and to place your throne above the highest stars. So yes, here we see Revelation 4 or Isaiah 14:13 that this Jesus or the morning star wants to place his throne above the highest stars. He wants to be the number one. He wants to be the king. He's got a big ego. You thought you would sit like a king on the mountain in the north where the gods assemble. You said you would climb to the tops of the clouds and be like the Almighty. But instead, you have been brought down to the deepest part of the world of the dead. So, world of the dead, something there. I believe that is hell. I think in different translations of the Bible, it says the word, it refers to that the world of the dead as hell. Also, bright morning star. In some translations, it actually says Lucifer instead of bright morning star. But I think the fact that it says bright morning star actually suits my argument better. Because now that this is obvious proof that the person who, this is Jesus here, who referred to himself as bright morning star. Okay, now where were we? The dead will stare and gape at you. They will ask, "Is this the man who shook the earth and made kingdoms tremble? Is this the man who destroyed cities and turned the world into a desert? Is this the man who never freed his prisoners or let them go home? All the kings of the earth lie in their magnificent tombs, but you have no tomb, and your corpse is thrown out to rot. It is covered by the bodies of soldiers killed in battle, thrown with them into a rocky pit and trampled down. Because you ruined your country and killed your own people, you will not be buried like other kings." Now here is more proof that Jesus is really the devil. So we're going back to Revelation. Revelation 12:4. With his tail he dragged a third of the stars out of the sky and threw them down to the earth. So that quote might sound a little bit confusing, but when they talk about stars, they're actually talking about angels. So 1/3 of the angels rebelled against God and got banned from heaven, lost their spot in heaven. And another interesting fact about Jesus is he died at 33. And I believe that is common knowledge, at least in the Western world where Christianity is the predominant religion. But also, they say he was born on Christmas Day, which is the 25th of December, and he died in Easter. So I think that's April, maybe late March. But yeah, so by that logic, he would have died at 33.3 years, and 1/3 is 33.3%. So Jesus dying at 33.3 years old, that represents the fact that his death in the New Testament represents the fact that 1/3 of the angels lost their spot in heaven and became demons on the earth, and that these people were crucified. They're like being tortured for rebelling against God, because like it does stuff to your mental health, living a life of unrighteousness, and yeah, that's what's happening. You know what I mean?